I wanted to lead off and talk about is the Branch situation. So, Jacob, let's just start out with, you know, should he have been ejected? Should he have, um, you know, I know he should have been penalized. We both agree on that. Should he have been
Right.
ejected in that?
Absolutely not. Right. I mean, I think that's easy for pretty much anyone watching to say, uh, that ejection was not warranted there. I know I texted you a little bit early, like as the game was going on too. I feel like this ejection was more so about the big hits that they have had let go, and now them feeling pressure to have to do something now. Earlier in the day, Chris Olave got hit, concussion, he's out. Um, there was a flag on the play, I believe, but there was no ejection there. Jordan Poyer, the Bills Dolphins game, that's another really hard hit. Helmet to helmet, penalized, no ejection there. It doesn't make any sense to start ejecting players for these football plays. And it was a football play. For it to be an ejection, you have to have some intent. You have to be leading with your helmet well after the play. You're trying to hurt somebody. That just wasn't what happened in this play. And, for it to come from New York also. So, they called the flag on the field, and then New York calls that actually we're going to throw this guy out of there. Just ridiculous. And of course, something like that's going to happen to the Lions, but I haven't found anybody outside of Packers fans that have said that they thought that an injection should have happened there. Have you seen anybody, fight for that?
Now, I haven't seen anyone outside of really division fans. I mean, I've seen some Viking fans that have, said Lions are dirty, just kind of the interdivision stuff. And then also it probably stems from the TJ Hawkinson injury from last year where Kirby Joseph, hit him low. I don't think it was dirty. It's just that's where, you can't hit a player high. And then when you hit them low, you're a dirty player. It's, you know, defensive players and including Branch in this play they're in a no-win situation. The first of all, the field's wet yesterday, right? Even if he could have like somehow magically stopped his momentum, he would have slipped and it still hit him. I don't think there was any intent on the play. It was he probably took maybe two steps. When you're watching it fast, when you watch it, live game speed, it's like, oh man, that's a hit. But anything looks worse when you slow it down. And of course, it looks like he's leaning right into him. But if you look, he's like trying to shy away. He's not hitting him with the crown of his head. He's trying to hit him with the side of his head. Um, you know, should be a penalty. Yes. Thrown out. No. I mean, we dodged a bullet there. That's our second, well, probably our best defensive player now that Hutch is out. And maybe the weather factored in there that they weren't going to go deep, but Branch really helps out in the run game, and that could have really, really hurt us. But the Lions, defended, just came up. Brandon Joseph played well enough to do to win. It's just we dodged a bullet there.
Definitely. I mean, I know we had differing opinions when it first happened too, because I feel like he could have let up. I think that he is trying to make an impact. He's trying to, maybe on some level teach him a lesson about coming over the top like that when he's back there. Maybe, there's been so many great safeties in the league and in history that have known for these big impact hits and different things like that. And like you already said, it's raining, it's windy, it's hard for some of the coaches to even see out on the field. So for him to have that bang bang play and expect him to be able to fully lay off, and you're right, he did kind of turn his head. It wasn't like he was just a direct shot right in there. He turns his shoulders out there too. I definitely think he was trying to make the contact. He was trying to make a hit there when he shouldn't have. I don't think that was a great call for him to make that hit. But yeah, for it to result in then an ejection, and then now we're having this discussion about whether he's a dirty player, whether he was trying to go helmet to helmet, and all that is crazy.
No, I mean Brian Branch he's a smart player. He is not a dirty player, and I feel like he was just going in there to deliver a big hit. And I don't know if I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Neither of you been where you're running full speed at someone, but he's made his decision. He's going to try to, and by the time he sees that he hasn't caught the ball, he is, he's already made his decision. I'm going to hit this guy as hard as I can. And, just unfortunately hit him with the helmet. It was, if I believe it was second and 20 at that point, and that gave
Yeah.
them, the
Yep.
first down. And then,
And then a little extra,
yeah, and
some extracurriculars.
let's talk about that because that's what I was gonna. My question is, do you think he's gonna be suspended? Do you think that this is gonna lead to? I don't think the hit leads to a suspension, but what he did afterwards, flipping off the crowd, double birds. Do you think that leads to a suspension?
You know, suspension, I don't think so. Fine, most likely. But, like we're talking about with the reputation and everything like that, and now I don't know. If the league has it out for us, the game against the Cowboys, I know they kind of took that as a statement game because we were trying to get the ball in the lineman's hands and, we were trying to do all kinds of trick plays and stuff. Maybe we don't have a great relationship with the league office right now. They've got this stuff going on with JMO. They seem to be, on us a lot. I really hope that doesn't result in a suspension. But at the same time, if they do, I don't like where that leads the game in general, outside of just us. But if you're going to start, these bang bang plays like that, there's no targeting. It's not like college football where there's targeting and you're instantly out of there. It's unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness. You take 15 yards, the game keeps going on. Not very often do you get ejected for a bang bang play like that.
Mhm.
So the ejection already kind of sets kind of a weird, going forward. Now every big hit that happens, whether it's a flag or not, you're going to have this discussion. Should New York, should they have thrown him out of the game for this? And then you're going to lead back and show replays of this one the whole year about, whether they should be thrown out or not. So then on top of that, if you do have a suspension for that hit and for the actions and stuff afterward, I just don't like where that leads the league as a whole. I definitely think the fine is going to happen, and I don't know. It seems like he had some choice words for the refs that were there too, and I thought that's what the penalty was for. I didn't know if it was for flipping off the crowd or if it was what he said to those refs that were there. Um, Either way, not a good look for him to go out that way. But obviously emotions are high. A very important game. He knew the magnitude of what had just happened. So, what's your
Yeah,
thoughts though?
I I'm hoping that he doesn't get suspended. I'm worried about the flagrantness of the double flipping off the. I mean, it was like the whole crowd. I mean, the emotions were running high with Brian because I haven't really seen him ever get that emotional before,
Mm-mm.
and to see him do that and lose his cool, I just think he was totally shocked that he was getting thrown out of that game because I think in his heart of hearts he knew that he didn't mean to, that wasn't flagrant. He didn't mean to do. Uh, he tried to avoid contact. I think in his head he was not being overly flagrant. I've seen so many hits very similar to that, and them just get flagged. So to get ejected, he was probably dumbfounded when he got ejected. And, especially early in the game, you're playing the Packers. I mean, that was a big, big ejection. And so I'm afraid that he might get suspended. I definitely know he's going to get fined for that. Um, and the suspensions, which would be ridiculous because we talked about this last week, Rashid Rice doing what he did off the field, doesn't get any suspensions, but you're just going to flip someone off and you get suspended. But it wasn't on the camera or anything. So people just got some pictures of it. So that could be it. That might avoid too, where it wasn't on, the national camera.
Wasn't
So
broadcasted. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't broadcasted. So the choice words and everything for the ref, that's definitely going to get him fined. I wouldn't be surprised for a suspension. I don't think he's going to, but I would not be surprised for him to get suspended. And then it's a matter of when is he gonna, is he gonna appeal the suspension? At most it's a game. I don't think they'd be doing anything more than that. But losing Brian Branch for a game is huge, and we don't want to lose him next week versus the Texans, especially if they get Nico Collins back. We're gonna need him back there. Um, yeah, so the whole situation wa was nuts. I was very mad when they threw him out, and then I was very worried because the game was, still very undecided at that point, and I thought, "Oh, man, we're losing our best defensive player, and Jordan Love's gonna take advantage. But we didn't
What
really
a
have
way
to
for
worry
the
about
defense to
Jordan.
respond after that, though. We didn't even give up any
No,
points on that drive. So
no. I mean, that's why you got quality backups. I mean, Brandon Joseph can come in there and just hold his own. I mean, he's not as talented as Brian Branch. I mean, very few players are, but he's came in there and yeah, we didn't really miss a beat. So I was really happy to see that. I will say that Dave Campbell said this in his press conference that he thought the game being at 4:25 also added to it. There's not as many games. Those 1 o'clock games, there's like 8 or 9 or whatever there is on a regular week. New York spread out, those games. This was the game of the week. Tom Brady's on the call. Everyone's watching this game, and it's going to get extra attention from New York, and it did, unfortunately. And I think for you, for what you said earlier, they are saving face because of the earlier Chris Olave hit was ugly.
yeah, they took a lot of crap for that
They
being
did.
allowed to happen and everything like that. So they had to make an example out of somebody.